My chin hits the pavement. I've got blood running down my neck and gravel in my mouth. I roll over onto the sidewalk and begin sobbing. It's 2019 and my life is not working. This midnight run, an effort to de-stress and take a break from work, has clearly shown me that I am running myself into the ground. I'm 12 years old and standing on the edge of a wheat field in rural West Texas. It's the 4th of July. I watch fireworks explode in the night sky with my parents by my side. My dad lights a sparkler and writes me a message in the air, then hands it to me. Then we all pile in our family station wagon. You know that car? The one with the fake wood paneling on the side? That was not a cool car. But sitting in the back seat with my dad at the wheel and my mom sitting next to him, I felt safe. 1 hour later, I'm sitting on the couch in the living room next to my dad. He sits next to me, and he says he's leaving. My parents are getting a divorce. I can't comprehend what he's saying. My family was happy and secure. My parents never fought. Later, I find out he has a new, younger girlfriend, an aerobics instructor. Now my dad hands the station wagon over to my mom and gets a sports car. There was only room for one other person in that car, and that seat wasn't for me. My dad got his independence on that 4th of July, and I moved from the back seat to the front of the car to support my mom. She's heartbroken, and her biggest concern is money. I listen to her concerns, but as a young girl, I don't know how to help. My dad has money. He's a lawyer. He takes his girlfriend on ski trips and scuba diving trips, but he says he can't fully pay child support. So money's tight. We sell my childhood home. We move to another state. My mom goes back to college, and suddenly, I feel like the poor kid at school. I struggle with confidence and worthiness issues. I'm only 12 years old, but during this time, I decide 3 things. Number 1, my life can look happy and safe, and suddenly, the rug can be pulled out from under me. Money can disappear in an instant. 2, men cannot be trusted. I will never be vulnerable like my mother. I will be strong and independent, and I will build a wall around my heart. 3, to be secure, I must work hard and I must save money. And save I did. I flash my NASA badge at the guard, and he lets me in. I click down the hall in my heels and my secondhand suit. I excitedly plop down at my desk and type up reports and prepare travel for a team of 12 engineers. I am 16 years old, and I have a job. Correction. I have 2 jobs. NASA during the week, and on the weekend, I'm the girl selling you tickets and stale popcorn at the budget theater in the worst part of town. I am making money, $4.25 an hour. When the movie starts, I'm the only one in the theater. At the concession stand, I look around, make sure no one is watching, and I reach down, grab my purse, reach in, and pull out my calculator. $4.25 an hour times how many months? I'm calculating how long it will take me to buy my first car. a 1985 Honda Prelude. I loved that car. In college, I lived in the crappiest, cheapest apartments. I had 2 jobs, but I paid my rent and my tuition, and I graduated debt-free. I am strong and independent. I'm a super saver, a frugality expert, and my strategy is paying off. Fast forward 2 decades. It's 11 p.m. on a Saturday night, and I am hunched over my computer, neurotically looking at each line of my spreadsheet. I've been sitting here for 2 hours, looking at the numbers again and again. I cannot make any mistakes calculating my monthly savings and my monthly net worth. I work at a top-tier international school in India, teaching kids from around the world who are there because their parents work at the embassies or at the UN. I'm saving $60,000 every year, and I still don't feel safe. I must stay on track with my savings goals and my plans for retirement by keeping this job. So I work late into the evenings and on the weekends to the point where my ankles swell, and I've got chronic neck and back issues. As I tally up that final number, close my computer, and end yet another romantic date with my spreadsheet. Y'all had to get that I was painfully single, right? It is 2017, and I have been working in Asia and single for 15 years. I am strong and independent. I travel the world solo, and I am also overworked and lonely. Something had to change. So I decide to take a sabbatical year and travel to Africa, and I make a brief stop in Bali. Right? I do a 10-day transformational course, and it changed my life. I healed my relationship to my father. He's 82 and such a precious man, and I'm so grateful for our relationship. I also healed my relationship to men. On one powerful journey on the yoga mat, I decided I was ready for a partner, and I call him in. I got really clear about exactly what characteristics I wanted, down to the dimple. 4 days later, I met Matthew. 1 year off in Bali turns into 2. I am joyful and alive. Riding my scooter through the rice paddies, I am moved to sing and sometimes cry by the beauty of the Balinese people and this island. Life could not get any sweeter than this. Except my fears around money grip me again. No money came in for 2 years. I need a job to feel safe. And I see an ad for an international school that will allow me to save $90,000 a year. I pull out my computer. I dust off my old spreadsheet. I pull up a compound interest calculator. $90,000 invested based on historical averages in 30 years' time will compound to $970,000. My neurotic, money-obsessed brain exploded. So I apply, and I take that job. There were not enough tissues on the plane to soak up my tears and the amount of snot coming out of me. I was sobbing so heavily that the flight attendant asked me if I was okay. On that 4-hour flight to Bangkok, to my new job, to that 900,000 plus retirement plan, I don't want to do this. But fear is running the show, and I am powerless. When the job starts, I fall back into old patterns of overworking to feel worthy and saving to feel safe. I regularly wake up at 3 in the morning with anxiety, so I get up in the middle of the night to work. On one of these mornings, Matthew finds me in the kitchen. He's worried and he tells me so, and I snap back at him. I don't have time to talk. I have work to do. I didn't have time for him. And he goes back to Bali. And that leads me to the night where I tripped, bloodied my chin, and ate gravel. Something had to change. Again. So I go searching for peace, and I find a book by Vicki Robin called Your Money or Your Life. Reading this book, I learned that I will never feel safe until I transform my relationship to money. And the title, Your Money or Your Life, if someone held a gun to my head and asked me that question, I would choose my life. But I had chosen money over my life, my happiness, my freedom, my desires, over and over again. Realizing this helped me to do that scary thing, to walk away from a high-paying job and move back to Bali with Matthew. Determined to never let fear win again, I began educating myself about real financial freedom. I dove right in with the same gumption I would use to dive into those spreadsheets. I went to conferences, I became an active participant in a financial freedom community, and I learned how to feel safe around money in new and effective ways. Now, I create international financial freedom events, focusing more on the quality of your time instead of the quantity of your dollars. Using money as a tool, but not as the only source to freedom. Allowing myself to let go, heal, and create my life more authentically has been a game changer. And still, I sometimes hear that voice of fear, but instead of frantically searching for a want ad or a job online, I'm learning to observe and question my thoughts, to bring in trust that I'm being guided and supported, and to listen to the quiet voice of my heart and follow its calling. And now, it's calling me to you. To stand on this stage, despite the fear in my body. This time, it's not fear around money or trusting men, but it's a fear of being vulnerable, facing possible failure or judgment. So standing here right now is one more way I'm overcoming my fears. Knowing that vulnerability, raw honesty, and courage can set me free. Truthfully, I have been so privileged in my life in so many ways. Thank you for witnessing me.